Is I am audible? Okay. So in yesterday's session, we done one practical for your JavaScript. Today, you have one more practical called function with your JavaScript. Means we are going to display and message on screen. Along with that, we are going to add some image on JavaScript. Please use your original name or your student ID to join your session. Is my screen okay? So, first basic format as we know, HTML tag open, next head tag, inside head tag, script type is equals to text backslash JavaScript, and under that tag we are going to write our code. So first we are going to use function called my function, means we are creating function from our side, means we are only creating one function. These are not inbuilt function. We are creating function. Now it's time to open flower braces, and inside a flower braces points dot inner text. Now let me first code, then I will explain you actual code. Yes, I will unmute myself after end of code. First I am writing code, then I will explain. So here we used one function, we created one function as my function 1. And next we used point dot inner text. Now mouse is moving. So whatever text we are going to add here, if we move or if we roll our mouse over that text, then it will do some effect. So what effect it actually do, we will write code for it. So after end of your script and end of your head, now I am using body tag here to add further functions. So in body only, I am adding on mouse move. So I want to make my page reactive. So if my mouse roll over or if my mouse move, then what function it will do? So first I have to link with my function, whatever my function I created, and one empty braces. So whatever set of instruction we will give here, it will run under this empty braces. Now in body tag only, I am using for on mouse down. So we have to link this part also with my function. Okay, first we have to create one more function here because we already linked one function. It's not possible to link multiple functions. So I'm creating one function as my function 2. Okay. So here I am using my function 2. Anyone of you know use of span? What is use of span here? Anyone of you know?
Yes, sir. Sir, the span tag
What is
is
use
used
of span?
to. Sir, like it is a inline element. It is not a block element. So it will keep that particular attribute in that line only.
Yes, you are not audible clearly.
Sir, I said like span tag, it is a inline tag which will
Okay,
keep
let
the
me tell.
elements in
So
that
span
line.
is used to highlight any part or mark up any part of text or part of any document. It is used for styling in CSS as well as in HTML. So now here I am adding my image. So I already downloaded one image. So I added my image here. Next, I am giving style to this image. So first, I want to set position as absolute, and after position, I am changing top 50 and after top, left 90. Okay. I decided some scales for my code. After deciding scale, now it's time to run this code. Now if I run this code on screen, you can see one image with one simple text. So now, what is actual function behind that complete code? If I go to my code here, in JavaScript, first we created one function by ourselves. Means we created two functions. First function we created what? Points in a text is equals to now mouse is moving. Next, second function we created event plus offset x plus event plus offset means why we created this function to roll over our mouse to roll our okay to roll over our mouse part. For that we use this offset part. Next, in HTML we used on mouse function 1 and on mouse function 2. So actually this function means what use of this function is, so if whenever you roll your mouse on your image, means whenever you roll over this mouse on your image, it should show some function. But now currently it is not showing any function here. So let me check it again.
Sir, for function 2, the brackets, it is
Where bracket? On which line?
sir, while defining the function my function 2, that two open brackets. Sir, before that event offset x, before that line. Yes, sir, before that line.
There is.
Yes, sir, next line only. That function my function 2.
I forgot to assign one empty bracket here, correct? Okay. Now let me run. Okay. Okay, I got. Let me run this code again. Okay. Now the mouse is moving. Okay. So we created this function. It's generally if your mouse is moving, it will show you one message. Now you can see. Now if I run this code again, now you see on the screen 0, 0. If I slightly move this mouse, it will show you mouse is moving. So actually this function is working. So what we done? First we created two functions. Second, on line of your code, we added text, whatever text we want. Next, on your 10th line, we have to set x-axis and y-axis To make function like this, your mouse is moving, means it will show your mouse is moving. It will show you some instructions on screen. So for that, what we have to use? X-axis and Y-axis. For that reason, we use plus event dot offset X and event offset Y for X-axis and Y-axis of your web page. Next, in body tag, we used on mouse move. It will redirect to function 1 and it will show now mouse is moving. On mouse down, what it will show? To function 2. It will go to again function 2. And then we added some image also. Means we linked some image. So if our mouse will scroll down there, so we done two functions together. First, your image part also here. So I will share the source code with you. For this code, you need practice. Practice is very required for this code. After practice only, you will understand this code. Actually, this code is not actual means main part of our web development. But why we included this code? The purpose behind this code is to understand how your mouse function will work. Because in yesterday's session, what we covered, different function. If mouse will roll over, what it will show. If double click, single click. So we discussed many function yesterday about mouse. So this is one more function. If mouse will roll over any image or roll over into your web page, then how it will work. So this is also one part of demonstration that you mainly have in your web development. Look, JavaScript part is very important part in your web development. We already told because it will give you functionality. It will link your HTML part with web server. It will actually give you one functionality on your web page. And also we are going to discuss about your server side development. Okay, I will share recorded session of yesterday class. Okay. Actually, someone of you trying to unmute yourself, but the issue is I'm not getting voice properly. So it's better if you text. Okay. So we are going to discuss PHP. So any one of you know full form for PHP? Have you ever gone through PHP programming language? It is hypertext preprocessor. PHP means hypertext preprocessor. It is one abbreviation term for your web development part. It is an abbreviation term for server part. So we are going to discuss server-side programs. Now, what are server-side program or what are server-side development? So server-side programs are C, Java, PHP. So these are some programs which run on web server, means which uses HTTPS. Now, what is HTTPS? If you go through any website, you will get www.https and then any website will start. So it will run on your HTTPS. It will interact client with web browser It will give response in loop form. Remember, it give response in loop form. So that is called server side. So for server side, what things work on server side? Your PHP will work. Now there is one more called client side scripting. There is two, server side and client side. What is server side? It is used to create web pages to provide some services. It is used to create web pages that provide some services. What is client side? It is created web pages to respond to any server or to request to any server. That is the basic most different. Server side is created to create web page that provide some services. Side is created to request or response to server. And server side mainly run on web servers. Client side run on web browser. Remember, there is difference. In server side, whatever user request, it will fulfill by directly running into server. And in client side, whatever source code user provide, then it will work according to script. It will work according to source code, not by direct searching on web server. So it is difference between your server side scripting and client side. Now, what is use of server side and client side? That is very important. Your server side is used for user request or accessing any database. Means, for example, you are creating any login form. Login forms will be created on server side scripting. For that reason, PHP is required. So, for example, if you created any login form in your HTML, and if any person giving any data on that login form, it should be stored somewhere. It should store into some part. It should store into some part of server. So for that reason, server side scripting is required. For that reason, PHP code is required, or C++, Java and CH also required. Now, what is use of client-side scripting? For client-side scripting, it is used to make interactive web pages. It temporarily stores local data and it is used to create some responsive web pages. For that, your client-side required. And what are the codes included in your client-side? You can guess, that is HTML, CSS, and your JavaScript. So this is difference between your client side and your server side. If you want notes for this, means if you want actual difference chart, I will share that with you. So you want notes for preparation, or you want to attend practical session only?
Sir, notes will also be helpful, sir, like we can read something.
Okay, so I will share notes. So in web development, you can use many programming languages for your web development. You can use many programming languages like Node.js. Node.js is server-side based technology. It uses JavaScript to write any code or to script any code. You can use Prel. Prel is used to create any gateway, means to create any API on your server. You can use PHP. PHP, it is directly linked with your HTML. It supports many code and is used, I mean, it is also Java based code. It is used to create or to gather information from user. It is client side, sorry, server side based. Next, you can use Python also in your web development. Why Python is used? Python is used to create some frameworks, to create some functionalities, to create some animations also you can use Python. You can use Ruby also. Ruby is also a programming language you can use for your web development part. What is use of Ruby here? Ruby is used to make model. It is used to create some models, some templates on your web development. Ruby is used. So you can use multiple programming language for your web development, but in your internship session, on which programming language we are mostly focusing, your HTML, your PL, your JavaScript, your CSS, and we will going through your Node.js, it is necessary, and also with your PHP, because PHP, why we are going through PHP? Because we are going to create some data handle network that will handle some data, that will store some data. So for that, we are going to learn PHP. So PHP was developed by Apache Group. PHP was developed by Apache Group in 1994. PHP stands for Hypertext Preprocessor. PHP is server-side scripting language. It is mainly used for handling database. It is mainly used for handling database. And it is free platform and free to use server. Remember. So why you should use PHP programming language? Because it is simple, easy to learn, easy to code. It is widely used scripting language for web servers, and you no need to download any external compiler for it. It is interpreted language. Next, it is open source. It is free to download. Second, it is platform independent. It directly integrate with HTML. It support dynamic web application. It is reliable. It is very efficient and flexible programming language. For these reasons, you can use PHP. Now, let me show you demonstration on screen. My screen is visible, correct? Okay. So let me show you demonstration for your PHP, how you will use PHP in your Java script. So first I am creating one body tag here, and inside that body tag I am using PHP. Now to add PHP, let us do some basic code to type welcome on screen. Now to add PHP, what you have to write here? First open one tag and one question mark and write PHP. Next, echo double inverted comma. Wait a second, I am using Visual Studio Code, so I should download some extension for PHP. Let me download some interpreter is mainly required for PHP. are required. Okay, so extensions are required for your PHP. So we downloaded all required extensions. So here, let us code again. So with question mark, PHP echo double inverted comma. So I am using H3 here to write hello world. And end of my H3. Now to end this code also, you need semicolon here and then I end my code. Okay. So if I run this code, now you can see hello world on your screen. If I run this code, you can see output as hello world on your screen. So now to print any code on screen, what you have to use? Open one tag, inside that one question mark, PHP, write whatever you want to print and end your PHP part with one question mark. So that is basic format. Let me write format here. So what is format? Sorry, let me write it here. So one tagline open, question mark, PHP, whatever code you want to type here, you can type and end it with one question mark. So this format you must use to add any code on PHP, to perform any code in PHP. So like this, you can use PHP in your HTML. Any doubt till here? Now we used echo function to print on a screen. In PHP we use echo function. So today we just started introductory part. Tomorrow we are going through variables in PHP, data types in PHP, some operators in PHP, some relations in PHP. We are going to discuss these things tomorrow. So any doubt till here? Now one basic thing before ending my session, let me tell you, if you just simply open one PHP tag with question mark and write PHP here. Now after typing this code, you can write print also here. Directly print, and whatever you want to print, you can write here like hello world I want to print. So I can write hello world here and my code. So you can simply write print also here. So in PHP, you can use print function. So if you aware of, wait, let me end this code. If you aware of Python, so if any one of you know Python programming, then in Python, what we use? Print command to print anything on screen. Now, what if I run this code? So now it's not showing anything. First, I am using body tag. So if I am using body tag here, then I have to mention h1 and h2 tag also. So now I am using h2 tag here. So I am mentioning h2 tag. And let me run this code properly. Okay. Now if I run this code, now on screen, you can see output. So remember, you can use print command also in your PHP. You can directly use print command. That is one more part of your PHP. So from tomorrow, we are going to start some in detail part of your PHP. Any doubt from today's session? I shared source code on group. Please go through that and try to practice. And remember, PHP part is very important part and very interesting part. You will have very interesting projects in PHP. I am sure you will find interest in PHP. So attend your sessions on time and be attentive in your classes. So I am ending my session here. Thank you.